I've decided to do something a little bit different for my post this week. I'm going to blend some of the material with a little bit of text, so blending media and text in my post in response to this week's task on collaborative methods online. Here I've got a little PDF document which I was sent by a colleague quite a few years ago now. This is from Moodle 2 Guide for Teachers, and it consists of, when you print it, ideally in colour in A4, it's quite nice. I've highlighted some of the areas here, so we can have a look. But this tool basically shows quite clearly, indicatively, teachers, tutors on the left here, what you want to use as in the technological features, and your pedagogical approach is here across the top right. Now, apologies for some of you who've already seen this. It is rather useful. I've stuck them up in various staff rooms in various places where I've worked, and a colleague from JISC actually sent me this, and it's been relatively useful. As you can see, it's quite easy to understand. If it's green, it's a great fit. If it's orange, it might work, and if it's in red, it won't work. I'll post the actual PDF of this below my post in Blackboard week 5, so you can just have a look at this in a PDF format. So I've highlighted areas here to highlight collaboration, cooperation and discussion. It's these two sections here which are quite useful. As we can see when we scroll down the page, when we go down to using wikis, use to enable collaborative page creation, and even a glossary here. They are quite useful, but it only comes up in orange. It's not suited for discussions using brainstorming, planning and collaboration, because if you look at that one there, communication and interaction, there are some potential problems with this. Now, I made a note here. And using wikis for online collaboration and online methods, especially if we link it to the POTS optional reading. I've read the Tremblay core reading this week, which raised some quite interesting points, which I'll put in text. But the Henry Potts optional reading was the one that really stood out for me this week, where he mentions PALS, peer-assisted learning, which is quite an interesting concept. And I've heard a few FE colleges who've used these PALS in, like, they've made a Moodle module on PALS. And it all stems from the original idea of the digital natives. Bennett in 2008 questioned this, suggesting it contains an untested assumption of the transferability of skills and motivation from one setting, i.e. Facebook, Twitter, these sort of online tools, to another, i.e. Moodle, so that the skills are transferable. Other authors argue that the producers of user-generated content, particularly around the Web 2 environments, are for a distinct subset of all users, and this could lead somebody to a bias in the content generated, i.e. you assume and you've an assumption that people can automatically use these tools. So I think it's quite a realistic point to have this in orange here, not in green, as in it can do a direct collaborative tool. So co-create content. Can you and your students collaborate and create content together? Here, if we go down, you will see that wikis are in green here for that section, and also a database. I've never used this myself, probably a little bit more complex. So let's scroll down to the next part. So we've got communication and interaction here, and we've got create content here. So if we go down to chat, forums, and other items, which are good. Now, forums in Moodle and Blackboard, I believe, you can lock them down. So once somebody submits it, they can't delete the post, which is very powerful, because you can control this without people losing work. Students and tutors can collaborate and explore topics and discuss them together, which I think a forum for this week myself is what I'll definitely be using in my end project, as in, and also as a capture tool for flipped teaching. When you launch an activity, you have some text and a video, very similar to the way we structure it in this Blackboard course. And then you can capture it in a forum discussion at the end. However, forums are great. Wikis, just to reiterate a point here, I've had, where learners can, in a wiki as opposed to a forum, delete other people's work. I've previously suggest learners to take care not to remove other work, i.e. they try and edit from the bottom of the wiki page, not from the top, in a different colour, put a key in so you know who's edited. You can see this in the history pane, but it is a bit of a hassle. And then I've actually stated font in there saying beware of fudge fingers, where students can actually delete by mistake other people's work. So you have an element of trust in this. And I made a little comment here about the PALS assisted learning approach. This is aimed at sort of emulating the traditional pedagogical practice in line of group work, sharing information, having a chat, people listen to everyone's ideas. This, you can try to emulate that the best you can in a virtual world if you structure it in the correct manner. So hopefully this little document will be useful to people. I thought I'd try something a bit different this week, try to be a bit creative, but it might well fall quite flat. So I'll have to wait and see on what some of the comments are. Thank you.